might be right. Another thing favoring MNM here, or potentially, theoretically, they're starting on attack. Coastline, one of the attacker favorite maps, a really frag heavy map as well. Looking at the likes of the players on MNM that do like to step up and do like to frag a lot. This might be potentially a 2-0. Obviously, we will also have players coming out on the side of DeathroW that do know how to frag.
Definitely, definitely. It is the first operator to be banned here, and that's a Thatcher ban. Nothing too crazy over here. And however, we see a Dokkaebi ban, an operator that we don't see banned that often. It is, however, MNM Gaming deciding to get rid of that Dokkaebi. Interesting first attacker ban, well, second attacker ban, but interesting first ban here for MNM Gaming, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting ban. I mean, I haven't really seen MNM rely off the Dokkaebi themselves that much, but this will allow them to roam a little bit more. Obviously, Coastline, a map that will really allow you to roam and not having those phone calls annoy you every now and then during that round, will keep your position hidden just a little bit more. Our last two defending bans to come out are a Valkyrie, no surprise there, and a Mira. Mira we did see obviously being used in that last map to hold off these long lines aside and to deny the control into Piano, and now not having that Mira will make, for example, a hookah defense a lot more difficult. If you defend hookah and you defend it very vertically, very horizontally, you do see some mirror windows being infested around penthouse sometimes, or even if you defend kitchen, you have those mirror windows on the triple wall, and that might not be possible for now. DeathroW picking up an interesting site for their first site pick as they head out to penthouse and theater.
And it's time for the Lord himself. The Shanka is being brought by Rakus here. It is a 6 pick, so they didn't want to reveal that it was going to be the Lord being played here. Interesting site indeed to take, but it makes sense if you bring the Shanka because, for example, firing off the big window becomes a whole lot easier.
Yeah, if you find yourself on that little rotate in between the two bomb sites, you could basically fire off the big window, fire off towards Hall of Fame, fire off towards that top white, and really if you have these long lines of sight that are currently being created by the Tachanka, you can do a lot of damage. Looking at the scopes coming out on the side of DeathroW, Neox obviously has the opportunity, however he's got the other gun, so might not have the bigger scope, but you could really hold those longer lines of sight if you want and just deny attackers from pushing in. A really spread out and horizontal hold it seems to be, as he's got a lot of soft lines of sight into the wall towards VIP, but have VIP itself reinforced.
A risk it for the biscuit is what DeathroW said here when they decided to go for that penthouse hold. And shortly, in about 3 minutes time, we will know whether that was a good risk or not a good risk. It is MNM Gaming that is bringing the Ana and also the Twitch. We see that they're trying to take it a little bit split over here. We see, for example, a some VIP pressure, some big window pressure, but also some aquarium pressure and even some hookah pressure. Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
I love to see the Nomad coming out on this map again, though. There's two staircases, one around top main and the other one around cool vibes. And if you can put those air jabs on those two staircases, that makes it really difficult for defenders to come back down from a vertical roam. Lucy still in hookah, but Tyrant to pick up an opening kill onto Fusion, eliminating the Aruni and potentially more lines aside. However, it's Adriano to fall as well. Solotov with 1 kill, make that another as it is Jax to fall to the gun of Neo. Players keep on falling on the sides of DeathroW, and they only have 2 players left against 5 players of MNM.
Yeah, it's not going great here for DeathroW. Not a great start. However, Neox can do a little bit of damage back. That's onto Solotov. It's now a 4 versus 2 situation. Uses decides to kind of see if the side is clear, because of course Rikus is still playing here in that 90. Does have the support of 2 ADSs. Has to watch out though, because he could just lose his head here if he doesn't. Still 2 versus 4 situation. Rikus is still trying to hold down 90. Can count on a little bit of support here from Neox. Who has to watch out, because if that Twitch decides to drop the hatch here, then it's done for. And it is indeed the Twitch that's thinking about it, and that Twitch being uses.
Yeah, Twitch has a drone on site, so has a lot of information. Neo with the kill onto Rykus, putting Neox in a 1v4 situation. Long lines aside also working against you, as his users from behind you to pick up that last kill. They had so much information with that shark drone on the side. And as we said, those long lines aside also working against you here for DeathroW as they find themselves on a 1-round disadvantage. Players started to fall one by one on the sides of DeathroW, and that offside gamble that you talked about is not working out in their way so far. However, they feel confident that this time they can make it work, as they are picking Penthouse and Theater once again with the exact same operator lineup. However, this time they're 6-picking the Mozzie in towards a kite, and that is questionable. Was it really the breach that costed them this round? There was no breach really coming out on the side of MNM, as the main pressure seemed to come very horizontally all the way around Hookah and around that long hallway towards VIP. So no breach really what MNM relied on, so I'm not so sure if this is the right 6-pick.
It is indeed a interesting pick. However, it could also have to do with, of course, the gun that Neox is running, and also a C4 that he might have in play here. And let's not forget that you also want to try to keep VIP closed. However, was VIP even opened in the previous round? I don't even think they had to, because MNM Gaming were given 3 quite easy kills, if you ask me.
Yeah, and their main push really seemed to come from Hookah and Aquarium, and that's where they got their first 2 entries. And that's what led them to be able to push on further to the side. Fusion, however, is looking to get a quick stop for that easy Aquarium and Hookah take, but looks away at the wrong second. It was almost someone going to walk past that line of sight. Now Tyrant needs to be careful of a player on top white, and just that little bit of presence of Neox here doesn't even have to get himself into a gunfight. But the fact that he is there puts more pressure onto the shoulders of Tyrant. He has to go prone in order to successfully drone Aquarium, and that might stall them out just a little bit.
We see users doing God's work again with his Twitch drone. Gets quite some utility here, gets an ADS and also one of the Kate Claws. However, he now loses his drone, and that's just in the nick of time that they were able to find that Twitch drone, because due to that Twitch drone falling, it was actually all the Hibana pellets, pretty much all the Hibana pellets, that got tricked. It is Fusion who falls to the likes of Uses, so it's all even Steven again, a 4 versus 4 situation. However, Jax is under some serious pressure here, and he decides to rotate away, it seems. However, he isn't sure. Thinks, okay, I might be able to come back and actually catch one of the players on the sides of MNM off guard. Just as Solitov did that to Adriano. Still on 0 kills, that same Adriano. DeathroW really struggling here.
Yeah, Jack's now gone for sure, as Uses sends in another shock drone onto side, dealing with more and more utility. That is so costly. So for another one of those cams and potentially some more utility around the VIP hallway, so much that he gets to deal with. And look at all these flank drones coming out on the side of MNM. They really shouldn't be too worried about Jackson, where he might be coming from. Rykus, however, falls to the gun of Solitov. Jax goes for a very aggressive run out, but Neox with a beautiful shot onto Neo, trying to bring back things more even as Steven. But Solitov finds himself on side, looking to utilize these long lines of sight, but not really being successful so far. Banshee currently spotting out his position here as Uses holds down the long lines aside, but the diffuser isn't even close to sight.
No, the diffuser isn't close to sight. What is close to sight is this C4, but that gets shot out of the air, and now it's the Hibana that gets down there, and that means that the diffuser is also down. It is now a 2 versus 2 situation. Jax does go down though, so it's all up to Neox, and Neox will also fall. Guys, if they continue shooting at you, likely they don't have the diffuser.
Oh my goodness, I don't understand why we keep on going back to the side and why they keep making those long lines aside. I understand that if you have the map control, you want to utilize those to peek towards the big window, but they lose that map control so quickly, and they time and time again find those long angles and those lines of sight being used against him. Players of MNM found themselves on site. They didn't have the diffuser. That was only a minor disadvantage for them to have the diffuser dropped around VIP, because the fragging power on the side of MNM was enough to clean up that round. I'm looking forward to see DeathroW on another side now, because those lines of sight are working against him. They're going to kitchen now. They're bringing out the Goyo. Not the Goyo, the Oryx. I don't know why my brain thought it was a Goyo. It was an Oryx. He could flank up those hatches. That would be a really good counter towards the Nomad that Neo keeps bringing out. They have that flank watch around the stairs, but as we did see in the last round, the flank drones from MNM, those are superb as well.
They have been indeed quite good. I mean, we got a little tease from our dear friend Juices, who decided to cycle through all the camps. I want to compliment Juices. Yes, he's going 3-0, but let's not forget how much utility he's cleared with those Twitch drones, and he's so good on that Twitch, and shows that today. And not just today, but has shown that to us before. It is DeathroW that's currently going for a kitchen hold, and what do you think of this?
Well, he was pointing out indeed the Twitch and how efficiently Twitch has been able to deal with that utility. If you look at a map like Coastline, it's one of the maps that you least rely on Heartbreach, so every now and then the Thatcher goes through. Thatcher obviously making it so much easier to deal with that utility, and now that they don't have the Thatcher in play because of him being banned by DeathroW, you have to obviously rely on other operators and other ways to deal with utility. And like you said, Hughes has been doing excellent in that so far. Keep on zapping down utility, ADSs, Electroclaws and everything. And that is really breaking into the defense of DeathroW.
Yeah, Jax will be droned here and doesn't really trust it. And what I'm kind of missing is somebody in a refrag position. Do not drop the hatch here, Jax, because there's literally nobody able to help you or to get that refrag. They're not playing quite close just yet on the side of DeathroW, and that's costed them quite some kills that they were unable to refrag. It's, however, Neo currently in hookah. Has to watch out though, because there's still a player here on the Cool Vibe stairs. But I don't think that they haven't droned that. They probably have that intel, you would think, but it's Solotov who's crossed, and where has the Jaeger gone?
Hughes has taken a lot of damage, but still some players above. Rikas with the first kill onto Nello, and that's the hard breacher off the board. Now 2 players around the top of the Cool Vibe stairs, but there's still a lot of roamers above. They need to be careful of that. If Jax just stops away and gets the kill onto Solotov, now Neo needs to go for the refrag, but misses the head of the Ironi just barely. Now is able to get that shot there, but some more time wasted, and 2 operators fallen on the side of MNM. This is looking better for DeathroW so far, as they still have somewhat of a top 4 control going on for them.
Yeah, Tyrant currently in blue bar, waiting for any intel given to him, waiting for a move to pull off. Doesn't really have to do anything just yet. And look at them, they're just divided by a single wall. That's not even hard. So if they decide to wallbang this, they do get the kill on Jaeger. So if Jaeger gets droned here, it will be end of the story for that same Jaeger. The Gemini Replicator is about to come out, and it's all up to Rikas to hold down Sunrise. Only 40 seconds remaining, and they've now spotted him out. And indeed, they'll start going for the wallbangs. He's currently still safe. Does get the smoke support from the smoke that's currently still on site. There's also a beeper, so now they know exactly where the Twitch is. Rikas is playing a little bit of a ring around Rosie, but does end up dying to Neo. Only 22 seconds remaining. MNM Gaming gets the diffuser, but this is where they shine, and they've been in this situation numerous of times, but now it will just be a little bit too hard if also uses false diffusion. 3 versus 2, 10 seconds remaining. Make that a 3 versus 1, and that final kill on Tyrant should be picked up, right? It should be picked up, right? Yes, it does. Neox.
Yeah, Neox with the shotgun to clear up that final kill there on the close range. Those shotguns do indeed work the best. Really good reaction speed coming out though, as Diana is literally quick peeking that wall with the speed of light. 1 round going in the way of DeathroW, and a few things to point out there is that they were able to hold on to top 4 control for so long. When we were in those top-down views, I was kind of worried that they didn't really have any presence off-site, but it was Jax to stay alive behind this aquabar. There was a drone on him initially, but the fact that that hatch was open around Aquarium probably tricked MNM into thinking that he'd already dropped and already was long gone back to site. He was able to hide there for long, picked up a kill above, and as MNM, you have to refrag, you have to get that top 4 control. Somehow, the diffuser was dropped in Sunrise, there was a Jaeger literally protecting that with his life. You saw him being wallbanged from left, right, center really, but that diffuser dropped in Sunrise was detrimental for the side of MNM because they had to clear the player there, regain the diffuser, and with 20 seconds left of the clock, the only control that they had was Sunrise.
It took him way too long to drone out that Jaeger, and that Jaeger was given way too much time and too much space in that Sunrise to indeed be able to hold that diffuser. You would think the first thing that you should do when you drop a diffuser somewhere is try to regain it, especially after you drop it when you die. However, it just took him slightly too long. It is currently DeathroW who is able to do a little bit of damage back, still trailing by 1 round. MNM Gaming leading 2-1. However, we're going to a blue bar hold. So that Fusion was trying to go for a little bit of an cheeky spawn peek, but was unable to see anybody and even attempt a shot.
You know, these downstairs holds coming out from DeathroW might be working way better for them, as they do seem to hold onto the top floor control a lot longer, denying access for MNM onto the side and really pressuring them into those final few seconds like we did see happen on Cafe time and time again. Solotov finds himself into a battle with the Melusi in VIP, only himself taking just a little bit of damage, and the Melusi getting out of that gunfight unscathed. Still goes to hold top of the hookah here, being worried about a potential flank coming out on his position. But that's not just happening on the hands of MNM. A drone, however, in hookah might spot out his position very soon, but Fusion does not step himself into hookah, as support of Neox on top of Cool Vibes as well.
It is Adriano with the opening frag on Solotov, and that means that one of the the only soft destructor pretty much is off the board. That is your sledge. On a map like Coastline, it could become quite detrimental. However, Tyrant is able to get a refrag on that same Adriano. Adriano currently still on 1 kill, together with his teammates Rikus and Jax. It is Tyrant hastily looking for that second kill, trying to support his teammates in, for example, getting that Cool Vibes control. It is Fusion currently still in office, and Anne, who's going to win this round, do you think?
I'm not so sure, because like I wanted to point out, MNM only has 4 drones left. 2 out on the field and 2 in their pockets. That's not true, because Solotov's live with drones still out in play. Neo ever with the kill onto Fusion, but the limited amount of drones and the presence of the players of DeathroW still offside is very worrying here for MNM, because they need to spot out the position of these defenders to pinpoint them down and to gain further map control. Rikus still gets to run around freely. Same goes for Neox. You might get into a gunfight around this hookah hatch here. Not necessarily happening just yet. They need to find out where these defenders are, as time is only ticking down further. 33 seconds left to play with.
Yeah, it is here currently users playing the patience game, hoping to get a little bit to see a little bit of the foot of users. However, Neo gets a kill on Rikus. It's a 2 versus 3 situation. Jax in a very good position here. Must watch out though. Oh no,
What?
how do you miss that? It's Neo with the turnaround kill, and now it's all up to Neox. He needs to clutch this up. Gets one of the players down. Now it's a 1 versus 2 situation. Neo on very low HP. If you want to make the play of your life, son, this is it. Go for it. He throws one of the smoke canisters, but the diffuser is down. No, he gets the kill on Neo. A 1 versus 1 situation, but Nello turns it around, and it is MNM Gaming winning this round.
That was very important there. The clutch coming out from Nello. And that was looking halfway through the round like it was really going to go in the way of DeathroW. They still had so much presence offsite, and the limited drones available on the side of MNM made it really difficult for them to spot out where these last players are. However, we see it time and time again, this fragging power coming out on the side of MNM, just forcing themselves through, finding those kills on the last player. I thought it was going to go the other way when we did see the planter go injured and actually being killed by the smoke canister. That could have been the turning point for the smoke to clutch it out. Support player against support player, and it was Nello to come out victorious out of that gunfight.
Yeah, it is the Maverick being brought here by MNM Gaming. Extra set of nades, of course, if you count those on the Tyrant, Diana, and of course the Sledge. So 6 nades in total. Quite some throwables here. with a lot of vertical angles.
Oh my. People always really worry about stats, right? Stats are very important. Your KD seems to be very important too, but look at this. Nello's only been able to pick up his first kill into that game, but that first kill was so important. That literally won them the round. If he would have lost a gunfight there, that would have been the round for DeathroW for sure, because there was plenty of time to go for that defuse to disable. So despite the fact that it is his first kill in this game so far, it was a really, really important one.
Definitely, it was an important one, and it's now DeathroW trailing by 2 rounds. We do see that there's once again Adriano. He's looking for drones, and that's basically what he's doing. He knows that once MNM doesn't have the drones, that they struggle a little bit more. We saw that in the previous round as well. It is currently MNM Gaming who's hoping for Tyrant to get an opening kill right here. We'll make a vertical angle. Now they need to watch out because there is a nade about to be thrown. And will that nade also land? It's a vertical nade, actually. Thought maybe for a second that nade was going towards the player in kitchen. That player being Jax, who is now fallen back towards the hallway.
And even though Jax hasn't had the master performance so far in this game, he's found himself in positions time and time again where he can just waste a lot of time and just, I mean, I don't want to call players a rat, but he's been finding himself in positions where it's really difficult to spot him out and to get rid of him. Neox with an opening kill immediately being traded out by the nade that was dropped by Solotov whilst he was in the process of killing him. So the smoke gone is not good for the side of DeathroW. Jax still on the roam here. Uses just looking down this blue door. Styron tries to gain some more information, but also feels very pressured from above.
And rightly so indeed. It is now Fusion who has opened up the hallway, trying to see if they can catch Tyrant off guard. They have to watch out though, because there's users in blue bar who might be causing some trouble. Who is causing trouble though is Fusion. Gets a huge double kill, and with that, DeathroW is all of a sudden in the driver's seat for this round. But this round only. It is currently Nello and users who have to clutch this, and if somebody can do it, it's definitely users. He has to watch out though on this close range, and there's a shotgun waiting for him, being Jax. Also has to watch out for a potential flank around. However, currently it looks like DeathroW is playing it safe, and maybe rightly so, because you really need this round, Anne.
Yeah, you definitely do so. Users now trying to get some information on that cool vibes. Definitely felt pressure from the shotgun, but this is also costing you round if you miss drone. If your drone falls down the stairs. Now he knows there's a player with a shotgun on top of the cool vibes, and that will always be difficult to challenge, especially with a gun like this. I mean, it's a strong gun, but a shotgun should win that gunfight 9 out of 10 times. 35 seconds left on the clock, and as you said, this is where MNM really starts to shine, but with 2 players left for them, it is not looking all too good. First shotgun shell being fired now. So he's literally just waiting for people to push, but a really good split push coming out from Jax as well as Fusion, as they're able to pick up those last 2 kills. You're just jumping over the staircase with the shotgun, and DeathroW is able to pick up another round.
They are indeed, and then they're 1 round away from having a 3-3 split going into the halftime point. They're going to try and hold kitchen service once more. That is a site that so far, if I look at my notes, they have been able to win on once.
Yeah, together with Hookah, it was the only sites that they won so far. And the fact that they've just played 2 other sites does open up kitchen again for them to play. This time they are 6-picking the Kite into the Oryx, like they did last time. Not necessarily the 6-pick, but the Oryx indeed coming out in play. Really good counter to the Nomad, being brought out time and time again for MNM.
Definitely, and it is once again the Maverick that is being brought here on the side of MNM. They're really liking those 6 nades that they can bring. Seeing that DeathroW struggles with dealing against those. Also seeing that Users has been amazing on that Twitch, right? He's been able to get rid of those ADSs by using his Twitch drone so effectively. We just saw one of the drones being destroyed here by the Jaeger. That means that there's only... Am I really seeing this right, Anne? Are there only 8 drones remaining?
Oh, that is very unfortunate. I don't think the drone economy from MNM, the further we progress into this game, has been that good. In the very first rounds, we did get a sneak peek into all their flank drones that they had set up when we were looking as users were scrolling through all those drones. So now it seems to go down a little bit.
Yeah, so they've lost 1 drone so far. It's 8 out of 9, of course, because we have a Twitch in play. So they've lost one drone, so it's nothing too crazy just yet. And what is crazy though is that, I mean, is it crazy to bring an Oryx? And you said it's a good counter, right?
No, I mean...
How can they use Oryx to their advantage?
I mean, there's a hatch in lobby, you can go up penthouse. There's a hatch in aquarium, you can go up there from the office. There's a hatch in hookah you can go up from. There's so many hatches that you can play around, and you avoid going back up those stairs that might have an air jab that Neo just put there. So it's a way easier to flank. And looking at how this round played out so well for DeathroW last time was mainly because of that top 4 control that they had and kept on for so long into the round. So again, we see a player into Sunrise now, but that top 4 control was working out so well and really costed MNM a lot of time to gain that top 4 control. They get some kind of ground on the map. And if they are able to successfully flank with that Oryx, it might be even more difficult.
So you see this window barricaded off, right? That does allow Jax to drop down onto a courtyard because of that window being barricaded off. The question is, do they know this on the side of DeathroW? It seems like they don't, because Fusion is about to just go walk past him. And it's not Fusion, but it's Rykus. Now they should know that there's a player there. However, Fusion was the one that was being red-pinked, so they know on the side of MNM Gaming that there's still a player somewhere towards that server and sunroom. He's rotating all the way to office now. Neox with the kill on Solotov, making it a even man count. They still have to worry about Tyrant. He's still in that courtyard. Jax is starting to make those vertical angles. And at this moment, Anne, it is Fusion who might prove to be a problem here for MNM Gaming.
Oh, Fusion now being drawn out. It should give the call to Diana that there is a player around Blue Bar. Opens up a line of sight, but it's Yana to be picked off by Adriano. Very unfortunate for the Yana player here. Adriano finds himself in the main lobby. The players of MNM are looking to force through Sunrise quite horizontally so far. They still have to deal with that shield of the smoke right behind the kitchen bomb. Here's 2 players on the side of DeathroW are taking a little bit of damage. The players on the side of MNM have also taken damage. 26 seconds left on the clock. So we now look at an even man count because Yus is able to pick up the kill onto Adriano.
It is Neox taking quite some damage, and yeah, there can be 15 seconds left on the clock, but MNM will try and pull something out of their strat book, so to say. It is Jax who's going to drop in courtyard, does get picked up by Uses. It's a 2 versus 2 situation. Fusion is in a very important position right over here. Needs to be able to counter this. Fusion does get the kill on Neo. Can he get the last kill on Uses as well? Yes, he can. It is all Fusion. It's the Fusion show in this round. And it's 3-3. We're going to the halftime point.
Fusion was in such an important position there, denying that control along the hallway and then stopping the plant in those very last seconds. Plant cover, on the other hand, if you look at the side of MNM, might not have been ideal because there were only a few positions of where that Melusi could exactly be. They saw the Melusi in lobby before, went for a rotate around cool vibes, around blue, I must say, sorry. So there's only a few positions of where that Melusi could really come from. Plan cover on the side of MNM, not ideal, but I think that DeathroW must be pretty happy coming out of the defensive half with a 3-3 on a map that is such attacker favorite.
Exactly, and especially against a team such as MNM, who did so well in attack earlier and is doing so almost yet again. You saw that they were going for a quite late execute again, and then somehow it almost always works. You saw that Uses was able to get the kill on Jax, who had dropped in the courtyard and almost winning the round there for MNM Gaming, but they fell just short. I'm liking the setup here by MNM Gaming. It's quite off-site. We also see some of the hatches reinforced. Hatches that you don't see reinforced that often, and for example, that one in a luggage. Reason being is that you don't want to give your enemies an easy way to drop somewhere. And you'll probably also see some presence on the side of MNM in that sunroom and server room.
Oh, cheeky. We see a spawn peak coming out from Uses. I mean, spawn peak is just waiting around this double door and Aqua, but unfortunately for them,
maybe a
no
bird.
one spawned there.
Maybe a bird or a butterfly that he'll try to shoot at. There is indeed nobody being spawning on that side. We do hear that one of the lion scans is being popped, and with that there is some intel on the side of the gentleman of DeathroW. They now know they've now revealed some of the positions. They'll be trying to take the VIP lounge here. Have to watch out, of course, because there might be a C4 being tossed if Thunderbird is anywhere near to be seen. That same Thunderbird will get the opening kill on Jax. That Thunderbird is playing in Aquarium. Adriano with the refrag on Solotov. A very important kill here for Adriano, but unfortunately he also falls to Tyrant. It is Uses and Tyrant who are bringing a tyranny against DeathroW Gaming.
And they're solid holding on to this top floor here, holding on to these lines of sight where the players of DeathroW might be coming from. They have the control over VIP, but that is really all they have in their hands so far. Rykas now needs to drone, needs to make sure that he knows where the players of MNM are so he can push them efficiently. Flank drones also being set up, giving the players on the side of DeathroW that have already fallen something to watch. The Melusi might just go up those main stairs to have a sneaky peek upstairs. However, that is not just happening yet. Looking at a little bit of a stall coming out on the side of DeathroW. Obviously, if you've lost 2 players, if you only have 4 drones left in play to look at, only one of those actively being able to be used by Neox, all of those other ones must be flank drones.
Yeah, it's Neox who will be opening the penthouse hatch, and with that he is trying to force an angle into a site. You see that almost all the doors are barricaded off here on the side of the service entry, and that causes the line to still be all by himself. Yeah, I feel like DeathroW doesn't really have a plan. They don't really have a plan at this moment, and they're just stalling a lot of time. They do have to watch out because there's still a Neo and a Uses quite near the main stairs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you lose your buck and the soft destructibility that you have to use your nades to be able to open up lines of sight from above vertically. Utility that you'd want to be able to use on other purposes, such as killing enemies. However, it's Rykas with the kill onto Neo, evening things out operator-wise, but Uses in the courtyard, picking up a kill onto Fusion, could be huge for their side. Finds himself into a gunfight with another player, but Rykas and Neox both pick up a kill, putting Nello in a 1v2 clutching situation.
He's only had 1 kill so far. If he wants to clutch this, he needs to be able to take 2 to get 2 more kills. It is the diffuser that's about to go down. Neox will try and get the diffuser down, but he doesn't even have to. It's Rykas who picks up the slacks, and Nello not really having the game just yet, Anne.
No, it's unfortunate that you find yourself in that last second clutching situations. No more smoke canister left to play. And I think the position that Nello found himself in wasn't really ideal either. Was just waiting and looking out for a push to come through that hallway, but that's not where the players of DeathroW were at all. They were around lobby, pushing into bathroom, finding the opportunity for a plant around the triple wall, and obviously it was not in the hands of Nello to stop there.
Oh no, Vigil. I thought it was going to be Capcan. He had a Capcan first, then picked a 1-my. Then I thought, okay, he's going to 6-pick the Capcan, but he's going for the Vigil instead. Unfortunate peanut butter.
Unfortunate peanut butter. That's another Dutch reference, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed. It is. What's also indeed is the blue bar that we're going to see being defended here by MNM Gaming. And fun fact, DeathroW is up for the first time in this map.
Yeah, that is very much true. And looking at the statistics of the last map, they did not find themselves up even 1 round during that last map. This is their map pick, and it's essential for them to win this. I mean, seeing as we're playing the upper bracket finals now, it's not detrimental for them if they lose. They still have another chance, but ideally you'd want to win this and find yourself a spot very comfortable and cozy in that final for a European League spot later on in December.
Yeah, and I do question how that affects your gameplay, Anne. If you know that, okay guys, if we lose this, it's not a big deal. We still have another opportunity. So I do question how that affects your gameplay and your mentality. I hope it doesn't affect DeathroW's mentality in such a way that they are like, okay guys, if we get behind on this map again, it's not a problem because we do still have a opportunity against Hellraisers. I hope that they just fight to the teeth. To the teeth? To the teeth?
The skin of the teeth.
The skin of the teeth? Is that it?
I think it is.
I'm not even good in Dutch sayings, so let alone in English sayings. It is DeathroW that are currently here in kitchen and trying to sweep from the kitchen side. Oh, Adriano gets picked off by Tyrant here in office, and that's a very important opening frag here for MNM Gaming, because that's once again that buck of the board, Anne.
Yeah, that soft destructibility really not being able to be played out for DeathroW. They might have to start using their nades again to create those vertical lines aside, like they did in that last round. Solotov on low HP, but is able to pick up an injure onto Fusion. Goes for the finish, and that's a diffuser dropped outside the blue window. Solotov, despite being on a slither of HP, does not feel scared whatsoever, and is able to pick up another kill for himself. This is not looking good for DeathroW. Ryke is taking some damage vertically, is able to pick up the kill onto Uses now. Another stim coming out from the side of DeathroW, but Ryke is still on half HP. 3 players left on their side, 4 in the side of MNM, and about 1 minute and 20 seconds left to play.
Yeah, and Tyrant does get droned here, is chasing the drone. Has to watch out though, because there's a Jax playing in that sunroom here, and can do some damage, in the security room. Opening up the barricade towards the sunroom. Ooh, almost does some damage, but he does get away, being Tyrant. Solotov, though, only on 10 HP. Who will win this gunfight? It is Jax. He has plenty of bullets, so he can just keep on shooting. However, now has to reload. That will lose him a little bit of time. Solotov will go down. Did he just impact himself?
I sure hope he didn't just impact himself, as we're always also Neox holding that hatch from downstairs. Neo will come in to finish off Solotov, and only 2 more players on the side of MNM. Neo, however, looking to gain control on those vertical lines aside, waiting for the perfect time to peek, but goes away. He could have had a perfect flank there with so much opportunities coming out there, but instead goes to drop. It's Neo with 1 kill immediately being straight out. Nello finds himself in a 1v2 position.
Again.
1 smoke and still left to play, but the diffuser is dropped. 2 players looking for his position. Jax picked up the diffuser again, goes for a plant. Smoke canister nowhere near that player that is going for a plant. Just walks past Rikers, goes for that gunfight, doesn't win the shots. It's Rikers to win out the gunfight, and another round for DeathroW, and they are looking pretty solid so far.
It was Nello who found himself in a clutch situation yet again. And oh my, can you imagine what would have happened if that Jaeger dropped a hatch?
Oh, that would have been huge. I mean, obviously, we have that information, right? We see the outlines of the players, that there are 2 attackers in blue. The call must have been given from the Melusi as well. Like, oh, hey, there is someone around office around blue. But dropping also gives a sound cue to the attackers. You put yourself in a vulnerable situation. If there are 2 players would, any day of the week, win that gunfight against only 1 player that is dropping there, unless you go crazy with your gun skills there. So I understand why he didn't drop and chose for a different position. Won a gunfight there, but immediately got traded, and yeah, that just looked unfortunate for MNM.
It was indeed quite unfortunate. MNM currently trailing by 2 rounds, and it's DeathroW who only need 2 more rounds to finish up this map, and then we're going to a 3rd map and potentially overtime. And we might still go to overtime if it goes to 6-6. A 3rd map, however, would be extremely fun to watch. These are 2 teams that are, they're really good. I mean, DeathroW was one of the only teams that was able in the prime time of Makers. DeathroW was one of the only teams to make it tough on Makers of the Tier 3 teams.
Exactly, we talked about that before, but as you just saw, a flank join in VIP, that could cause for really early and easy map control coming out on the side of DeathroW, as they have that information about VIP. They have an information about a possible flank coming out, so VIP should be up for grabs here, and they should be able to work out that verticality. Something that hasn't really been working in their way since those past 2 rounds, seeing as they lost Adriano quite early. But so far on the fence, MNM has not been able to win a single round yet. This time they're choosing to defend Kitchen. A side that they defended initially as well. Then they had the opening kill. It was used to get the kill onto Jax, who doesn't have a solid performance so far in this game, but 1 minute's already been wasted, and not too much map control coming out on the side of DeathroW.
No, indeed, not a lot of map control on the side of DeathroW. They are, however, going to try and clear VIP. They have to watch out, though. There's still a player here playing in lobby. It's the Melusi, with a beautiful, beautiful sun hat being Neo. We see that the Ana is trying to make its way down those stairs. As you can see, there was a drone on those stairs.
Ooh, that's really good use of utility, and now Neo finds himself under a lot of pressure. So uses it, however, to pick up the opening kill onto Fusion. No more Lion skins will be used in this round, and Rikers with that refrag onto use, just holding his only position to go back. Really, as we find ourselves now in a 4-4 man count. That was a really good read coming out on the side of DeathroW with the refrag. Looking at utility, I think it's best to win that on the side of MNM, because you've already lost a Lion on the side of DeathroW.
Yeah, definitely, and it is. However, it's a good player to get off the board, right? Juices, important player for MNM, but as we can see, Neo once again stepping up. It is now Jax who's going to try and make his way towards the service entrance door. Neox just have to play the patient game here. They all have to play the patient game here. Waiting, you're pretty much waiting here for Adriano to kind of clear the site, right? To kind of clear the through vertical angles, clear the site and draw the defenders out of their caves, so to say. It's Neox with a kill on Solotov, and that's a very important kill as well. Only 30 seconds remaining. It is Tyrant who needs to come up with a play here if gentlemen on the side of MNM Gaming still want to win this round.
Yeah, players now looking to go on the side. Neox briefly going for the fuser. Feels very pressured from security here. Nate coming out to stop Neo from being able to push that efficiently, but that should be really bad timing. Neo now needs to retreat further.
Hello.
Time is ticking down. Neox now going for the diffuser, but Tyrant finds himself in the courtyard. Could be able to pick up a huge kill. Neo ever falls. It's Nello to fall as well. Tyrant in a 1v3, but just shot down by Adriano, and DeathroW find themselves on map point. And this should not be happening. Looking at the social vote, looking at the predictions, everyone's expecting MNM to come out this game victorious. The fact that they are now looking at a 1-1 potential map-wise isn't going to be...
Because I'm curious what this is called in English. In Dutch, we call it a telraam. And in English, it is called, drumroll please, abacus.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, this is my abacus.
All right, well, going back to this game, it could be very interesting to see that timeout coming on the side of DeathroW just to shake MNM up off. Obviously, MNM are hungry to go get this game back. I mean, they found themselves on 6-3 round disadvantage before, and then were able to close it out successfully. But that hunger must be there. They need to win 3 rounds in a row, but then to not be able to do that just yet, by timeout being called out by your opponents, that might just hold yourself back and might get a little bit of frustration going out because you had that perfect plan, you had the idea what you needed to do or need to change, and then there's a timeout.
Is DeathroW going to do a reply totem here?
Oh, I sure hope not for DeathroW.
That would be quite unfortunate. I am so stoked, and I'm really hoping that DeathroW wins this round. And that's not because I have anything against MNM Gaming, but I would just love to see another map, another fight between these top teams. They are your upper bracket finalists for a reason. And you know what? It doesn't really matter who loses here right today. And I mean, of course, you don't want to go into that alligator swamp. You do not want to only have one more shot at going to those relegations. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yes, please. Yes, please. No, it's not working.
They were going for a roster. It looks like they really tried to take control over service entrance real quickly. However, kill on the Solotov, but Solotov being traded out. He got 1 and is now traded out here. You do lose a Finka, so a lot of HP that you won't be getting anymore from those Finka boosts. And then Mozzie won't be able to utilize those drones anymore. However, that quick map control that DeathroW was looking to acquire isn't going to be handed in their way now. So he uses with a C4 out. It's just a sound cue to threaten that person on the hookah window, because nothing's been done with that C4 just yet.
And DeathroW keeps losing quite important operators, right? And first the Buck in some of the rounds, that's an important operator. Now also the Finka, which is an important operator to especially have late in the game. Because with that Finka you can of course boost your teammates, their health, if they've taken a little bit of damage. It is Neox that gets C4'd from below, but he's down, however not quite out just yet. He can be picked up by one of his teammates shortly and can live to fight another day. He does get impacted though by Tyrant, and also Adriano taking a little bit of damage, meaning that they probably have had that intel in.
And Neox now added to the Pokédex as there's only 3 players left on the side of DeathroW. Adriano even found himself on half HP already. Neox, however, I mean, it's your support player, has technically seen the worst statistics so far, but is really stepping up for his team so far. To lose him that early into the round, and this one, you're looking at a potential map point, really detrimental on the side of DeathroW, also with the sets of nades that you're losing there. And now 2 players at DeathroW find themselves into Aquarium, but a player's gonna come up the main stairs, could be potentially going for a huge flank of 2 of those players are caught off guard whilst they're on their drones.
I was about to say, are there no flank drones? But it doesn't seem like it just yet. Neo needs to watch out though, because he is being pressured here by the Buck. Are they going for a defuse plant here? That's the question. There are no C4s anymore in play. Adriano will get the kill, and Neo and Uses do have a reply to that. It is all up to Rykus. He needs to find 3 man or try to get the defuser down and then find 3 man. In the end of the day, he just needs to be able to find 3 of those operators, but he doesn't. It is Uses with the final kill, and finally MNM Gaming is able to win a defensive round. Questionable to ask for the timeout there from DeathroW. However, if they didn't do it, then there still would have been a timeout, because also MNM Gaming called one. It's 6-4 in the advantage of DeathroW. They have 2 more conversion points here, 2 more match points. Rather call them map points, because if they do win one of these rounds, they will be going to the 3rd map, the decider. And if my memory serves me right, that will be Chalet.
That will indeed be Chalet, a map that I personally love to see in competitive. However, we are not there just yet. There's still an opportunity for MNM to come back and to close this out in what quite a few people expected this to be a 2-mapper. DeathroW indeed finds himself on a map point. They have some players really stepping up for their team, like Rykus on those double digits, but in that last round there wasn't really anything he could do. There was a Maestro Cam in Hookah, looking through the rotate and constantly red ping in the position of Rykus. So not much you can do there if you're fighting 3 people at the same time on the side of MNM. Now looking at the performances of MNM's players, Uses definitely stepping up, as well as Tyrant and Neo, but Nello's game so far, it's not been that good. He's found himself in clutching situations twice. I would like to point out one more time that 1v1 clutch when the diffuser was down, where he's been able to pick up his first kill. That was so huge. Otherwise, this game would have already been, this map would have already been done.
This map indeed would have already been done. However, MNM does get to fight. They need to find 2 more rounds if they want to take this to overtime. DeathroW won't just give it to them. They won't just hand it to them. It is that same DeathroW that seems to be going for a north push. And on the north side of the map, you find the VIP lounge.
Yeah, looking to take control over that, already spotting out some utility as well. However, half a minute's been played and not that much of map control coming in. However, Finka found herself ready in Penthouse, around Theater, looking for potential flanks to come out. There is a drone around the 90 hallway, should give loads of information. And Jax, you have an LMG, there's plenty of bullets. Still goes for a reload. These lines of sight being opened up puts a lot of pressure on the player in the Aquarium. Neither of them really seem to engage into a gunfight yet.
And of course, we know that there's no C4s on the side of MNM Gaming. However, after we saw the Buck die earlier, well, get downed earlier by a C4, he will probably be very wary of any C4s that might be in play. It is Vigil that's currently trying to hold Aquarium. Is being put under a lot of pressure, and then decides to resort back to the office, where there's been no pressure as of yet. Rykus, currently in Aquarium, is going to try and find Uses, because Uses is going to fight for his life. Gets 1 kill. Can he get a second? No, it is a nade by Rykus that finishes Uses off, but it doesn't go in DeathroW's way, because they've already lost 2 operators, both Diana and the Finka.
Yeah, all the players on DeathroW on full HP, so the Finka not necessarily needed at the moment. Look at that, Fusions is able to clear out all those ADSs. I wonder why they were at this point in the hallway. But the players of DeathroW now have their control over Hookah, looking to start to make these vertical lines of sight. Also with Adrian here in the line scan, forcing those players to stay still whilst the players of DeathroW are working on those verticals. Solid however to pick up the kill onto Neox. Now there's only one drone left that Fusion could use to gain some information, as Adriano also takes a lot of damage.
Yes, indeed, Adriano taking a lot of damage, and it is his task here to put a lot of a lot of vertical pressure on the players. Oh no, Fusion has just dropped, but he doesn't know that there's a player hiding behind the bomb chassis. Nello finally with a second kill, making it a 1 versus 4, and it's going quite bad here for DeathroW. And being DeathroW, you probably wish you still had that tactical timeout. Seems like they might be taking it here. No, Adriano says I don't believe in timeouts. Let me just go for a desperation call and drop the hatch here.
Yeah, that was exactly what I wanted to say, because how DeathroW played out that last situation, I mean, a 2v4, it isn't ideal. 9 out of 10 times you wouldn't be winning those clutches, but it isn't impossible. These last 2 acts coming from the players so individually as well, like no real option for a reflag as they dropped the hatch, I think 20 seconds apart from each other, but it just seemed like, or looked like, acts of desperation. The Ash dropping, looking around furiously to find defenders, but of course there was a smoke still behind the bomb. There was no pressure coming from Sauna whatsoever, so that smoke was still able to sit safely behind the bomb chassis. The Ash really didn't know what way she had to look, and there was no refrag potential coming out either. Had you have dropped together with the Ash, had you have picked up the kill onto Nello, that would have been a 1v3 situation. Now it's a 1v4 situation. That makes it even more difficult. However, one more potential or opportunity for DeathroW to close out this map, as they have one more map point. They lose this, they're going into overtime.
Yes, it very well could become an overtime here if MNM Gaming all of a sudden has woken up on defense. It does seem like that. It is currently a 6-5 lead, still in the advantage for DeathroW. MNM Gaming currently still trailing by 1 round, but 1 round only. It's been 3 rounds. Going to 3. Going to 1 right now. It is still DeathroW who has to attack. They are bringing pretty much the same setup here. They're bringing Finka, bringing a Lion, and also bringing in a Yana. Kind of the same setup that we've seen. Steady. And they just need to try and survive. I think the survival rate on the side of DeathroW, especially on those key operators, just needs to become a little higher, don't you think?
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. For example, Adrian, I mean, he hasn't had the best game of his life so far, but losing out that player with the soft destructibility every single time so quickly into the round, it just limits your opportunities. And that's how DeathroW, like for example, in that last round, just resorted to drops onto the side. Now there's 2 players looking to move into Sunrise real quickly to just force out this horizontal control. But that isn't happening yet. Uses it a potential to go. Uses it, drops and picks the kill up onto Fusion. Could potentially go for another one into Sunrise, but no player just engaging in that gunfight yet. But Fusion, how does that happen?
Fusion, why do you try to sledge it? If you can shoot it. Why would you try to sledge a Banshee? You know that there were some changes being made a few seasons ago, mate. Fusion. What? Anyways, we're in a 4 versus 4 situation. It is DeathroW who's still up 1 round, but if you make mistakes like this, it'll be MNM shortly taking this to overtime. Neo currently playing on the south stairs, on the main stairs, about to go back up. Knows that there's a player in a server room. I'm still baffled, Anne.
What? How is Tyrant able to pick up such a freebie there onto right, because it was just vaulting over Sunrise Bar. Tyrant looking to pick up another freebie, but gets flashed, so isn't able to pick up another one. Does a lot of damage onto Adriano, and finally picking up that kill. A double kill for himself so far, is on low HP. Now Jax is sent in into Oz, but looks to complete the wrong way as Tyrant just swings around, picks up another kill. The Fuser is dropped into office, and Neox finds himself in a 1v4 situation. Has no drones left to play around with, 40 seconds, and no diffuser. First thing it's going to find is that Malusi right around the double door, just waiting for him to enter. How has this gone so bad?
production, can casters also call a tactical timeout? Because I need some time to process this.
About that tactical timeout, right? I've just spoken to production about this. It was DeathroW to call out the tactical timeout. Apparently, MNM had called the tactical timeout as well, but because DeathroW called it, MNM doesn't need to use it.
So MNM still has one in the pocket. But I don't think they'll be using it here, and they're on a tear. 3 rounds in a row that they've won, and you know what? They get to keep going on defense. 6-6. DeathroW, you're doing a reply totem.
This is where the momentum of MNM could really come into play, because looking at those last 3 rounds, they've won all those last 3 rounds on defense. Momentum really being on the side of MNM, and if they end up losing this round, for example, they still have that tactical timeout that they can call to just potentially pull this to full-on overtime. They decide to go for Blue Bar first. Blue Bar and Sunrise. Melusi being put on that single door. A lot of pressure coming out, or a little utility coming out towards Sauna, but that wasn't a point of interest for the DeathroW players at all in those previous attacks.
I'm still trying to overcome what happened in the previous round. And
oh yeah, understandable.
I am. Anyways, it is the Blue Bar hold that's coming out here from MNM Gaming, and Tyrant really going on a rampage here. 14 kills, uses 12 kills. Really working on that KD, isn't he? Neo also on 10 kills. And if we look on the side of DeathroW, it's only 2 of their players really stepping up, being Rykus and Neox. When we just look at the frags, of course. Frags are not everything, as you already said, and because Nello had one of his 2 kills being a very important kill, being a round-winning kill, and that's actually the reason why MNM Gaming is still in the fight on this map.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have won that clutch, this game would have been over after the 9th round.
Hello.
That's insane if you look at that.
Hello, Adriano. You aren't supposed to flash yourself. It is Fusion that's currently playing here in the kitchen and will pop one of his Lion drones to get a little bit of intel for his teammates, knowing that there's somebody currently playing in that Blue Bar, who's probably already flown away from that Blue Bar. Uses playing here on the top floor. Might get a kill, might be able to get a pick here on Iana, because I don't think Rykus is expecting this, and way too focused with the person who's still currently playing in office. Are they going for a double peek here? It surely does seem like it. Tyrant will take some damage, and now they're both on top of each other. Adriano with the kill on Solotov, and that's an important one. That's, if I counted correctly, one of the players that was in office. So now they only have to deal with one more, that being Tyrant.
Yes, looking at the push is shifting just
again.
a little bit. Tyrant going for a sneaky pre-fire. However, not doing too much damage here. Adriano looking to force himself in. However, it's being taken out by Tyrant. Finally, the refrag comes in. It's Jack able to shut down Tyrant. Now there's 3 players left on the side of MNM. A little bit of HP and operator advantage, I would say, on the side of DeathroW. But look at the amount of drones they still have left. Only 2. There's still some people offside for MNM. And to pinpoint their locations is going to be really difficult if you are DeathroW. Players on the stairs over Nello falls due to the gun of Neox. Neo takes a lot of damage as well, and Juicer starts to drop. The diffuser coming down for Neox.
No!
Goes for the jump, gets the diffuser down. User's going huge in this round so far. Time is running out. Neo ever being killed. Puts Users in a 1v3 situation. They know where he is. It should be an easy kill. That is the round for DeathroW, but that was looking like it was going to go huge for Users.
How did Eustace get the kill there? He just drops the hatch and is able to vault over the bar. Oh my, if DeathroW would have lost that round, I think they would have lost the entire series. And because, you know, there's no recovering from that. There is no what is the call out? Like, what do you call out being the person that was trying to get the defuse down and just dying? Like, hey guys, he just let a Rooney vault over the bar and kill me.
Someone just jumped onto me.
Exactly, somebody literally just jumped onto me. Like, how? It is Hoka Lounge that we're going to see, and it's DeathroW who gets to defend. The momentum for MNM has been broken, and oh my, what a series we've got so far. And it might only last longer if DeathroW will convert this last round.
Yeah, this is huge so far. I am definitely loving the series up until this point. It's been so tense. Looking at that first map being a 3-7 score. in the disadvantage of DeathroW. Not that tense, but this map, however, we are really in for a treat here. 7-6 now. DeathroW looking to convert this map point, as they had so many opportunities of converting a map point before, but not really being able to succeed into that. However, this is their final, or their one-to-final chance actually, to convert this map towards their favor. They now have to defend. Their side choice for this defense is either Hookah or this Blue Bar. It's looking like it's Hookah. Looking at their previous defenses on Hookah, they only did that once. It was in the 5th round, and that was a win for DeathroW.
So, if we look at those statistics, then you would say that DeathroW has the best cards currently in play. It is MNM Gaming trying to take that VIP lounge here. Ooh, Solotov did spot the head there of the Rooney. Rooney getting droned out right now. It's Rikus, and if you do end up getting the kill on Rikus, you have a very important frag. Solotov will take a little bit of damage, but that little bit of damage is not enough. Tyron with the kill on Adriano, and that's a very important kill, making it a 4 versus 5 situation in the advantage of MNM Gaming after a mere 45 seconds. Rikus currently still on VIP lounge. Is going to try and hold this, and is about to get double peeked, as they would call it here. He gets away!
How does he get away without even looking at where that main pressure was coming from? Now Rikus finds himself being taken out by Eustace, who was just holding the roof here. Now there's a strong disadvantage on the side of DeathroW. C4 indeed, as you said, in the hands of Jax.
No.
Downstairs in VIP, but that's way too early. There wasn't even a player of MNM right on that position. So the Yana still gets to live, still has those 2 nades. Now is aware of a player still downstairs, and also a player in that VIP hallway. If they time this correctly, they could go for a nice swing. Oh, Yana goes onto her drone. That timing so unfortunate. Fusion able to pick up another kill here.
Siege timing.
That is siege timing in a nutshell.
It really is. It is currently a 3 versus 4 situation. Still in the advantage of MNM Gaming, and yeah, I must compliment the attack so far for MNM. They've done really well to pinch the roamers on the side of DeathroW. And DeathroW does realize that, and they've decided to resort back to site here. And it is 55 seconds. Plenty of time for MNM Gaming, as we've seen before, to go for an execute. Eustace is going to try to clear the mutants, and he's so good on those on those Twitch drones. And that kind of forces the wall to be opened, of course. Neox will fall to the likes of Solotov, a 2 versus 4 situation. 33 seconds remaining. And it is MNM Gaming who's slowly but surely going for an execute, I was about to say, but they don't even need to do an execute because they just get the frags. 7-7. We're going the full 110 miles.
Wow, those 2 holes being opened up on the quad wall gave so much opportunities for the players of MNM to just peek that, find a kill on the Legion who was hiding behind the quad wall. You saw him trying to escape. He felt so pressured with that shock drone and the breach coming in that he was just an easy pick for the players of MNM. And this is really where it's all going to matter. If DeathroW loses this round, they find themselves on a series lost and have to play that loser's bracket. MNM has all to play for. They need to win one more round in order to close this off and be the first finalist to go for that EUCL spot.
Guys, there's a relegation spot on the line over here. There is a relegation spot on the line. Come on. DeathroW, MNM. Who's doing it? Who is doing it? My goodness, we're going to full mile. We're going to full 100 yards. Is it? We're going to full 100 yards, but yards is American, so in English you say we go to full mile, I think.
Yes.
Do we say anything? Do we
full
have
kilometers?
Full kilometers. It is MNM Gaming who's currently doing quite well, I must say. I mean, they were down 3-6, brought it all the way to 7-7, and now they get to defend. And I wouldn't say that's their preferred site. However, in the second half of their defensive strides, they've kind of showed that it has become their preferred site here. And they're bringing a Cade, bringing a Maestro, bringing a Wamai, bringing a Mozzie. If we have a look at the setup of DeathroW, it's almost unchanged. Maybe the ace is kind of noteworthy here. I'm surprised that they're not bringing a Twitch themselves. They've been getting shredded by the Twitch being brought by UCs. Why are you not bringing that that Twitch yourself?
That's true. I mean, it could be very helpful for their utility clearance. 3 players of MNM now looking to push up Cool Vibe stairs, giving up that downstairs control, really. As at the moment, it doesn't really seem to be a point of interest for DeathroW to take. However, Rykus is on a solo mission being droned in by his teammates. 3 of the players of DeathroW on their drones. Neox with the opening kill onto Tyrant. Tyrant, who's been stepping up huge for his team so far, now being the entry death for the side of MNM. This could really be the moment where DeathroW takes it and we go to that final map.
What a freaking nail-biter of a game we've got. What a nail-biter. It is 7-7 currently, and MNM Gaming have just lost their first operator and also their first fragger, I must say, because if we look at the fraggers on the side of MNM Gaming, I count a total of 4 except from Nello. They've lost their top fragger at the moment, Tyrant. It is Jax who's trying to put some vertical pressure. So far, not that well. You see, Neo took a little bit of damage, but not a lot.
No, but last time they defended Hookah, it was that Maestro cam in the hands of Nello being so important for them. So they were able to constantly ping the information on that last remaining attacker as they were trying to push in the billiards. Now the presence on that double window will make it really hard for defenders to rotate around the sites. Nello getting a lot of pressure around this little bench thing, and now he's looking for safety, but Adriano looking for pressure from underneath, not being able to find the Maestro just yet as he gets to live another life.
Still 2 C4s in play with Solotov. Just only 1 C4 in play because it's Solotov remaining. Rykus will get the kill on UCs, but Solotov will get the refrag in Rykus. It is a 4 vs 3 situation. 36 seconds remaining. The defuse needs to come in if they really want to do some damage on the side of DeathroW here. The more time you wait, the better it is here for MNM Gaming. It is Solotov who gets a really big kill on Fusion. Solotov on very little HP. Now has to find a third frag for himself. It is 14 seconds remaining. The C4 will ruin everything here for DeathroW, who also will ruin everything for DeathroW. It's the last C4. It is MNM Gaming. Marshmallows are going through to the relegations. It was that final C4.
Oh my goodness, MNM are qualified for relegation. That final C4 being detrimental for the players of DeathroW, as they will now have to play the loser bracket final to still be able to qualify for European League. MNM victorious in this game. Look at the performances of